It's time to review the highlights. I'm joined by my co-anchor, Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number one has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel, chasing a nut.
That's a nice analogy, Snoop. On to highlight number two, with T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
Very impressive.
Take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
In addition to telling you to subscribe, I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, Vaseline Lotion, or Vaseline, however you want to pronounce it. And for those of you who don't look like me, and I think you know what I'm talking about, skincare is important. Daily moisturizing is important. Use lotion. It doesn't have to be cocoa butter. It doesn't have to be this brand, but you need to put lotion on your hands and the rest of your body. There are plenty of YouTubers out there who do in-depth hands-on things and the camera's really focused on their hands and you can just see how dry they are. They should be the ones that are actually sponsored by some of these companies just to show how moist your hands can be without feeling too oily. So I'd say Vaseline, definitely a good option to consider. Now, back to the video. There were two things that I wanted to cover in this video. Meaningless video, like most of my stuff, absolutely meaningless. But in that commercial, I just laugh when it comes to the world that we live in. First thing is this whole Apple Intelligence stuff. Yes, I get it. Apple has to deal with all the companies are doing, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, which works with OpenAI, and some other companies that I just don't know or care about. But I just find it funny that if you or I or whoever were to have looked at Best Buy's website, let's say 2 months ago, it would have just flat out said, Apple MacBook Air, 16-inch, 13-inch, the specs, whatever. But they've gone back and had to rebrand these machines to be built for Apple Intelligence. Up here you have an M2, and down here you have an M3, and if you were to scroll down some more, you'd see that the Pros also have this built for Apple Intelligence stuff. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Cool. Finally, again, really don't care. Is it possible that non-Apple Silicon Macs could have run Apple Intelligence for those people who are still using Intel-based ones? Maybe. I don't care. But I'm just like, oh, do we have to rebrand it, built for Apple Intelligence? No, we don't. Okay, don't care. Most people don't care. There are some who do. And I guess you have to throw it in their face to let them know that, hey, coming this fall, because even though we've been talking about it for several months at this point and it's still not available, but coming this fall, you'll be able to actually use whatever it is that Apple Intelligence might actually do for you. So thought that was hilarious. And of course I was like, wait a minute, it's all Apple Silicon stuff. So yes, you come to Apple's website, and in terms of Macs, yes, all M1s. So the Air, M1 or later, and then of course everything above an Air is suitable. When you look at the phones, you have the 15 Pro Max. Okay, there it is. Okay, and the 15 Pro. So I think the delineation or the delineator was at least having 8 gigabytes of RAM. And I believe that the 15 Pros both had 8 gigs, whereas the non-Pros only had 6. It's kind of a slap in the face for those of us who did buy a regular 15, and wanted to use Apple Intelligence. I bought a 15 last year, and I don't really care about this whole AI race right now, so I don't, that doesn't really matter to me. But kind of sucks for those who bought the same phone or bought that phone last year that came out the same time as these 15 Pros, and they were just like, nope. And then if you have a regular 16 this year, then you can use it. So whatever. But the other thing that I want to hit on is if you heard the person that the little commercial say it real quickly, he's talking about or saying our prices compared to the other big guys, because at this point there are only 3 big guys: T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. There was a time when there were 4, and market competition, blah 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 blah, all of those things existed. But when you only have 3, and the research around the world and the mobile industry and probably other industries have shown that when you go from 4 down to 3 major carriers, prices go up and quality goes down. And so as competition goes down, prices go up. So what I thought was interesting, and it was actually it's hard to find. I mean, maybe my Google skills aren't as good as what they need, but it's nice that this graph is over a decade old. Back in 2011, and I know it's probably hard to see. Can I make this a little bigger? Can I make this a little bigger? No. Okay. Actually, can I do this? Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to zoom, but whatever. But if you can see, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile. We all know that T-Mobile has now purchased Sprint, so just imagine that these are just 3 chunks. Now, even in these little ones, and I mean, this is kind of nice historical information, we have Metro PCS. Metro PCS is now owned by Sprint. We have Other, which we don't know, Other is just Other. And we have TracFone. I think TracFone's kind of its own little thing. But then we had US Cellular, and I was like, man, I feel like in the news I heard something about US Cellular. So you just Google it, and yeah, T-Mobile's buying US Cellular for $4.4 billion. So did it actually happen? I don't know. You can do the research if you actually want to find out. But yeah, so now you have Verizon, AT&T. I didn't mention Cricket. Cricket is actually owned by AT&T. And then now T-Mobile has engulfed Sprint, Metro PCS, and US Cellular. So I think that's a perfect representation of the current market, where you have Verizon, AT&T, which now owns Cricket, and then you have Sprint, which now owns, then you have and also T-Mobile, which purchased Sprint, which purchased Metro PCS, and which purchased US Cellular. So it's really just those big 3 and Other. And that's the state of the market. So don't know why I cared so much about saying that, because I am a T-Mobile customer. I did recently start a Mint Mobile plan for $15 a month, but you have to pay, the $45 up front. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm primarily using it only as a data line, and the data speeds, reliability are fine. But yeah, minimal competition, and I think Mint. In fact, I feel like T-Mobile was trying to buy Mint as well. I don't know if that actually went through. In fact, let's look that up. T-Mobile reaches agreement. Let's see, did this actually happen? T-Mobile reaches agreement to acquire Mint Mobile for up to $1.3 billion. So did that actually happen? Sure, and there's a nice little video, I'm not going to click on it, of Ryan Reynolds hugging somebody from T-Mobile. I don't know if it's a CEO or not. But yeah, so, yeah, there's no competition in this country at all.